Hey everybody, this is Ricky from Sip and Tell Podcast, coming at you with another mini sip. This is Minisip04. This is a special one because I just got my first delivery from Tavour uh, distributors, or whatever you want to call them. It's a mail order beer service. Tavour is a pretty interesting service. It's a phone app. You get they post two beers a day, typically one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and sometimes throughout the rest of the day. And on those beers, it's usually stuff that's tough to find here. Talking to the Tavour guy yesterday, he said that over here in Western Washington, they are the only distributors of Anchorage Brewing beer. So you'll see a couple beers come up. You pick the ones you want, pay for it right then and there, and it goes in your crate. End of the month, or it's like a month and a half, I think, is what you could set it to. They'll ship it out to your house for $15 flat rate. But if you're over here in the Western Washington area, they are located in Tukwila, and you can actually go over there and pick them up. That is what I chose to do this weekend, not because I didn't want to spend the $15 on shipping, but because they were right up the road and I had a little free time. So what I was going to do for you guys today is a little bit unboxing, kind of show you what I purchased, and hopefully you guys have fun with that. At this point, this is the only box I've done. I may do it again. It's the one crazy thing about the app is how easy it is to buy beer and spend a lot of money. Like the main reason I jumped onto this app in the first place was because they had Toppling Giant on there, and I grabbed a couple of those, and then I grabbed a couple of something else, and all of a sudden, like in my first day purchasing, I ended up spending like $40, and I was like, okay, I gotta slow down on this. I don't think this is going to be my daily driver for beer, but it's definitely got me a good amount of beer for the winter. I'll make a couple stops by Pint Defiance over the next couple of weeks, but I'm definitely not going to grab as much as I usually do because of how much beer I have right now. So either way, let's go through these. I will start. I haven't really looked in there. I kind of know what's in my crate because I picked it out and ordered it, but it's been about a month since I ordered everything. So it's going to be kind of a surprise to me. But we'll start with the one. I did see this one when I did this. The one that started it all was the Topping Goliath Pompeii IPA. There was another Toppling Goliath one I saw on there, and I wanted to grab it. But by the time I decided to pull the trigger, it had already been waitlisted, which means you could buy it at that time, but it is no guarantee that you'll be able to get it. So I grabbed a couple of those right off the bat. I definitely wish I would have grabbed the other one. I think it was just a pale something Sioux or Sioux something, but I'm still very happy I got at least a couple to try. And then this is one of the Anchorage ones. So Anchorage, like at least based on their descriptions of it, I should have got two of these. Based on the description of it, are just amazing beers. I know nothing about them at this point. I should have a second one of these, but maybe not. So I'm definitely intrigued to try them. I think I got a couple different Anchorage ones, but yeah, their description sounded amazing. Talked about a lot about juice bombs and stuff like that. I can't say exactly anything about the Patterns IPA, but I'm definitely excited to try it. So most of the IPAs are meant for me, and then I got other stuff for my wife and I to split, but the IPAs definitely are going to be for me. I'm excited to have a bunch of stuff to try too. This is, I believe, another Anchorage actually. Yeah, so this is the other Anchorage Brewing Company. This is Gia Girl. It's their double IPA. Like I said, I thought I grabbed two of those ones, but maybe not. I'm excited to try that one too. Once again, how they described it sounded amazing. One of the first splits for Amanda and I is a coffee porter from Kanuski, or maybe that's the name of it. I guess maybe it's from R.S. Taylor and Sons. I love coffee porters, so this is a perfect thing for us to split. Oh man, you guys can't see that at all. Oh well. Oh, okay. So I talked about this one on the last mini sip. This is the one that, like, the description of it alone made me so happy to try it. It's, oh, what's the name of it? It's called Queen Hazel, and I believe it's called from Mobcraft Brewing. They described this one as, I can't even remember what chocolate, but they were talking about a specific chocolate and how like the thing that makes it great is the hazelnut, and it tastes like a melted version of that. And I was like, holy cow! And I held off on it a couple days, and then I finally had to pull the trigger because it sounded amazing. It's a bourbon barrel aged one, and that's one of our favorite kind of beers to split. It's bourbon barrel aged. Oh man, I got more stuff in there. There's the other coffee porter. Ah, there it is. There's the other patterns. I thought I had 2 of those. So that probably means... there goes another GA girl. Okay, so I'm not crazy. I thought I got doubled on most of those ones. Alright, we got something... Oh, okay. This is Legendary... Brewers Gone Wild. What is the name of this brewery? Oh, man, I'm just not seeing it. Unless it might be Tyrannia. But the name of it is the Tapping the Sugar Bush Imperial Maple Porter aged in bourbon barrel aged. Like I said, anything barrel aged will do. And I haven't actually had a maple beer. The one I want to try is the CVS, but I'm excited to start there. We got another double IPA called Fruit Casket. I don't remember the description on this one, but I think this is from Champion Brewing. Yeah, I don't know much about it. Cool can art, though, for sure. Let's see if I can get that a little bit closer and zoom in. It won't zoom in. All right. That's box number 1. We'll end it with an Evil Twin Brewing. The OFYMD stands for something. Oh, fuck yeah. I can't remember. It's something. It stands for something. This was one of those ones where we grabbed, but I mean, Pint Defiance actually has a lot of Evil Twin, and I believe they had this one. So this was one of those ones I grabbed, and then I was like, I guess I need to grab it there. Let's see. Just another, so this is Zipline Brewing. I've been seeing them pop up a lot, so I was excited to grab one of these. This is a big bottle. It feels like a big bottle. It's just a mocha stout. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, sorry, cat. This is, I believe, this was the Winter Warmer. It was just a winter barrel aged beer, and I was excited to try something that, I mean, I like doing good wintry stuff. It's by Rahr and Sons, RAHR. I don't know anything about this brewery at all. So we have a second one of those. Oh, okay. So this was one of the last one I grabbed. This one has really, really cool can art. It's called Licking Hole Creek is the brewery. And the name, see this, even the guy who was actually grabbing the stuff for me was like, I don't know if this is the right one. I'll look at the can art, but it's a Licking Hole Creek Juicy Indian Pale Ale. Oh, man. And I'm a big fan of the Juicy Ale, so I'm excited to try this one. And like I said, it has pretty dope can art. It looks like a playing card with a couple dogs, I'm assuming. There's a second one of those. Then we have this is a Prairie Artisanal. This is the Double Dunk. This one should be fun. I think it's based on the Oreo style cookie not IPA, but Imperial Stout. Oh, there it is. Imperial Stout with Oreos. So I imagine it's going to be rich and heavy, probably very dessert focused beer, but should be a really good one. I think there's another one that popped up at Pint Defiance, so I probably could have just bought it there, but I'm not mad about getting that one either. Okay, so this is coming down to the last couple IPAs. This one's called Pipe Dream. I grabbed this one not based on the description, more based on the art. I just like the art on this one. And it's a double IPA. Plus, like I said, I thought I needed a lot of IPAs, but I clearly do not at this point. But this one looked really good. It sounded fun. It had cool can art. So yeah, second one of those. So the final beer is ale aged in bourbon. This is bourbon barrels with cold brewed coffee. It looks really cool. It has a nice little fancy cork on it. Like I said, anything coffee is something I'm willing to try, and this one sounded really, really good. I don't know. I don't think I'll let it age, really. We'll probably crack this open next weekend. But as you can see, I got a good amount of beer. I think 22 beers here. I got a bunch of stuff I've never been able to try before, including, the big one, obviously, the one I was most excited for was the Toppling Giant. That's the one that kind of got me on it. But everything I heard about Anchorage and the reviews on it were amazing. A lot of these porters and barrel-aged stuff I'm excited to crack open and share with the wife. We have some good stuff here, and it will probably keep us from buying too much beer over the next month or two. We'll probably still get a couple, there's a couple barrel-aged stuff coming out that I want to get, including the Bomb from Fremont, and I still want to grab a CBS at some point from Founders. But outside of that, we should be pretty good for beer for at least a month, and maybe a little bit more. I have half of these are at least IPAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I have at least 12 IPAs here. I know I have a bunch in my fridge still, so we'll be good for a little bit. Once again, I will end up hitting a Pint Defiance or a Copper Door or Ollie Tap Room before now and then, but not as much. I'm gonna try to limit those purchases. What I will say about Tavour, although when they pronounce it on the phone, it's like Tavour. Most of the IPAs in the 60-ounce cans end up going for like 2 for $12. So you're talking about $6 a piece plus tax. Most of the smaller cans hit that like 2 for $8 range. So you're talking $4 for a small can. And that was even the same with IPAs. Price-wise, it's probably a little higher than I would typically pay for my beer. When it comes to like the bigger bottles, they're at a pretty comfortable range around that $14 for like, I think the non-barrel. I don't know if I have a non-barrel aged one, but around $14 for most of them. I think we paid a little higher for one of them, but I think it was this one was, I think, $20. But that was the only one that peaked that high level. So, overall, it's cool. It's definitely something I do, and I would I think using it more as I would as a specialty bottle shop versus using it as like my only way to get beer is probably the best way. If I see something that jumps up there, like if a couple Toppling Giants come up again, I'll probably grab a 4-pack. And let me rephrase that. Assuming I like these beers, I'm mostly looking at the Anchorage and the Toppling Giants. Assuming I like those, if they pop up again on Tavour, I'll probably grab like a 4-pack and just go pick it up versus trying to build out a whole case. And I think the reason I grabbed such a big case this time was because I was like, I'm going to pay $50 in shipping. No matter how big of it, I might as well completely fill the case. I don't think I'll have that feeling going forward. More what I'll do is grab a couple beers here and there, take a weekend, run up there, grab the beer, and call it good. And again, it was funny because I saw someone come out and they only had 2 beers. I was like, what a fool, only having 2 beers. But then I was like, oh yeah, he didn't pay for shipping, so it doesn't really matter. It didn't cost any different. He just paid for the beer itself. So for me, the fact that I live right down the street from it, I will more likely than not grab a couple things here and there, go grab them. I think I'll still do a majority of my beer shopping at local shops, but I guess when push comes to shove, I'm holding out hope for something I know I'm not getting up here to end up on Tavour, and that's what I'll use Tavour for. So maybe, like if we're talking bucket list beers, we're talking about Toppling Giants is obviously still on that list. Anchorage at this point sounds like it's going to be one of those ones I need to make sure I grab every time. Licking Hole has a chance of doing that, but then you're talking like big time. So like Treehouse, Trillium, although however you feel about Trillium right now, Monkish, Other Half Brewing in New York, Bearded Irish down in Tennessee, Bottle Logic down in California. There's so many breweries that I'm like, I love their stuff and I'll never see it come up here. And maybe this is that chance I could use this as an opportunity to get a hold of those beers, or unless I can find somehow get into a beer trade. Like I said, for the most part, it sounds like this is shipped almost everywhere. My parents said that you can't ship stuff to Utah, and they live there, so they'll know better than I will. But outside of that, it's definitely worth looking into. If you don't have a local bottle shop, this would be a cool way to get something going. Or if your bottle shop is limited, we were just fortunate enough to have a huge bottle shop in a great location. And I mean, when I say a huge bottle shop, there's like 3 or 4 around us, and a couple that have already closed their doors. So I mean, we have more enough access to beer. It's just this is a good way to get beer I don't have access to. Overall, I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'll probably do small boxes here and there. I don't think I'll do another 22 can box. I'm excited to try the beers, and as I try them, they'll be popping up on Instagram. You can find me at my personal Instagram at Aging Nerds. I'll hopefully maybe I could do like get some of the other casts on here. We could try a couple of these beers. That might be a fun little mini sip for next week. And then once again, you can find us as a whole. The podcast is Sip and Tell, and you should on Instagram, on Facebook. I believe it's Sip and Tell as the page. And then we have a YouTube channel where all of our videos post, and our Facebook, our videos are posted there. I'm uploading all the videos to Twitch as well. Basically, you have any opportunity you want to watch videos, and the audio is usually available on iTunes or anywhere you get podcasts. Outside of that, I think we're good to go. Our next big podcast is going to be in December at some point. There'll be a couple more mini sips between now and then, and there'll be a ton of beer drinking over the next month or so. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. That's me signing off. Have a great day.